Lovely. So yes, today a lot of maintenance for the back, nice and gentle. Not going to do any planks. You know, a lot of us are sitting down working from home or sitting down at work or doing DIY, and there's probably a lot of niggles, extra sitting down. So some real maintenance for the back today. Some nice stretching, but a lot of stuff for really working the back, but in a nice gentle way, and keeping things like sciatica at bay. Good stretches for that. So all I've got is my strap or dressing gown holder mat. We're going to warm up standing up, and then we'll take it down to the floor. So feet underneath our hip bones, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles, ears over shoulders. So pulling up nice and tall. Lift the toes, let them separate out, sort of wiggle the feet about, sway around a bit, and just find somewhere central where we really find we're nice and centered and grounded through the feet. The knees are soft. That doesn't mean they're bent, it just means we're not locking them out. So they're just softness in the knees, squeezing the tummy in so you're engaging your core, and that's going to help support the spine. Shoulders are back and down, hands are by the side. Lovely. Let's do a few breaths to start. Also mindful of your feet. Mine notoriously fall in, so I'm going to try and strengthen the ankles and keep them nice and active. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Squeeze all the air out, squeezing this sort of corset of muscle you've got that runs all the way around. Breathing in, breathe out. Really feel the breath from the tummy, not just the back of the throat. One more deep breath. Lovely. Normal length breath, but still with the emphasis on the out breath, squeezing the tummy. Let's tuck the chin in. Breathing in, lift the chin slightly. Breathe out, tuck in. And we're trying to stand in neutral, so our bottoms aren't sticking out or tucking under. Our shoulder blades are back behind us. Palms to the front, stretch the fingers. Let's lift the arms. Let your rib cage lift away from your hips, so you stretch the upper back. And then down. Just going to move forward a bit. Let's swing the arms up and down on the out breath. Little bounce in those knees. Breathe in. Let's swing all the way down, bottom back, eyes to knees. Nice bend in those knees. One more. And slowly back up. Let's get our breath back in case we feel a bit dizzy. Lovely. We sort ourselves out for our posture, and we're going to do a little circle with the nose. Again, little posture check. So your ankles are strong, your feet are grounded, your knees are soft. And change direction. Let's take the ear to the shoulder. Really draw these hands down and change, trying to move with breath. So we can breathe in, take the head away from the body. Breathe out, bring it back. Breathe in, take it away. Breathe out, bring it back. Always squeezing that tummy on the out breath. Breathe in, take it away, let's hold. And it's like I've grabbed my ear and I'm lengthening up. So stretch that spine, and then with a couple of fingers, just a bit more lengthening. Relax the shoulder and then push the heel of the hand down. Lovely. And it's like you're standing against a wall. Your back, your shoulders, the back of your head, your bottom. So no rotating or leaning forward or tipping to the sides. It's just the neck. Let's rotate down, gentle pressure with those fingers. Carry on with that nice deep breathing, same length breath in as out. And every out breath, squeeze the tummy. Drawing your belly button towards your spine. Release, let's change sides. Ear to shoulder. Grabbing the ear, lengthen, tip. And also thinking of your pelvic floor muscles, so we zip them up. So it's like you're holding in a wee, you kind of squeeze from the inside out. So zipping that up a little bit, squeezing the belly back a little bit so everything's engaged. Rotate, and we're supporting the spine. Lovely. Release. We're going to warm the wrists up a little bit, but again, we're doing some on all fours work today, but really just to stabilise the spine. No planks, no push-ups. Nothing strenuous, I do mean it. Reverse. Just some good body maintenance today. Let's have those hands together, figure of 8. And then I'm going to ripple them. So I'm bending and flexing the wrists and the fingers. Just a nice bit of fluidity going through. I'm going to change direction. I have to do that little sort of sway, otherwise I can't do it. I've got the hang of it now. I'm doing this every week. I can do it to the left. Stretch down. Bring the hands in front, forward. Stretch it up. Shrug the shoulders up. Keep the arms up, let the shoulders down. And then just sort of stretch a bit one way, as if you're lifting up your shoulder, but you're not bending at the waist. Release, lift your other shoulder. Back to centre. Now we're going to stretch the upper back. So I'm rounding the upper back, shoulder blades separate apart, as if someone's grabbing your hands and is pulling them forward, chin tucks in. Lovely, and release. Little roll of the shoulders, going to get them warm nice and slowly, nice and gently today. Nice big circles. Think of up to the ears, all the way back, all the way down, all the way forwards. It's a really big circle. Lovely. Then rotate forwards. So think back, up, forwards, down. It's a really big movement. Get those shoulders warm. Lovely. Going to go back. Hands on the shoulders if you can reach, if not wherever they're comfortable. Trying to touch the elbows. Get them up, get them out, get them back. But fluid. Again, using the breath. Let's reverse the circles. Try not to lift your rib cage. It's just your shoulders you're warming up. Lovely. And release. Let's do some full arm circles back. Again, really keep the body still so that we're not lifting up. So this stays closed, just the arms. So that we get a lovely stretch, and you're trying to reach back as much as you can. Forward, up, and to the side. Lovely. Let's reverse, up, back, and down. Back, side, up, down. 2 more. 1 more. Lovely. Bring the arms here. Bending the knees a little bit, really to keep these hips still, because we're going to twist the upper body and the hips are going to want to follow, so they've got to stay still. Nice strong ankles, cross here. I'm just going to rotate the upper body. My nose is in line with my watch, so that moves with me. You can see my hips are not moving. Imagine you've got headlights on those hips and you're driving in a straight line. You don't want to twist. So you've got to kind of go against it. It's a small movement. Let's add a reach. Reach, breathe in, look back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Use your tummy. Squeeze your tummy on the out breath. That's going to bring you back round, and it's protecting your spine because we're twisting. So we need to be protected. Trying to replicate functional movements with the body, so that when we do twist, the body knows what's going on. 1 more. Lovely. Okay, good. So I want to do a little back stretch standing up, and I'm just going to try and, I'm just using this to show you something. You don't need your strap. So if you think of this is my spine. So if you imagine that's my spine, our spines are not straight down like that. They kind of get to there and they curve like that. So that's our position of our spine. So naturally, our spine is quite happy going this way, and it's quite happy bending forwards, although that does squash the discs in your back. So we want to practice giving these stretch, but without, without any pain. But also, sometimes, if you think that's my natural position, what happens when I bend forward? You can see how much your spine doesn't like it. So sometimes, really bending, lying down, really pulling the knees in can pull the back the wrong way. So think of your natural arch is that way. So just a little stretch for the spine. Hands are on your bottom or your lower back. And this isn't about leaning back, it's about pushing your hips forward. So you just push your hips forward. And everyone's going to have a different level of where they're comfortable. We're just going to keep doing this. Push, and then slowly release. We're going to do about 10 of these. Each time you might find you can get a bit further, push. So this is a really lovely way of those discs in the back getting a nice stretch, because they're opening up the other way, they're bending the way they should. And again, it feels unnatural because we're so used to bending forward all the time, but this is lovely for the back. Again, there shouldn't be any pain in your back, any pain in your bottom, down your legs. Just stop if it is and keep it very small. If you're comfortable, you can just keep pushing a little bit more. Push with your hands, push your hips forward. A few more. You might want to change your hand position. You might find you can get more of a push here. Using the breath. Two more. Last one, lovely. Push those hips. Wonderful. Release, good. So we're going to move to a roll down now. So just again, with what we've said in mind, if you've got any lower back issues, we don't want to be bending really far forward. It's fine in a controlled way, but if you have got any lower back issues or any twinges or sciatica, just have the knees bent and just roll down in a supported way, and then you're not putting your whole body weight bending forward and just going to aggravate the back. So our roll downs, nice and gentle, no heel lift, strong ankles, breathing in, breathe out. I'll do the assisted version. So you're almost in a little squat, just feel a nice sort of stretch in the back, but you're supported the whole way down. You can get to your thighs and then you can just relax down. And the same for your way back. Support yourself on your thighs and use your hands to push yourself up. So you're not taking that weight. Next one I shall do without the support. And you work with where you want to. If you only feel you get to here and stop, that's fine. Breathing in, breathing out, the chin, the shoulders, scoop the belly. You can really, this is why we peel down slowly to see how the back is feeling at each step. Keeping that weight forwards. Should never be any pain. Breath in at the bottom. Breathe out, coming back, feeling that nice stretch in the legs as well. Feeling the upper back stretch and round. Let's do one more and we'll take it down to the floor. So if you were doing an assisted version, you could literally crouch down to where you're comfortable and then you could come to the knees. If you're okay, roll down. When you're ready, still come to this position and tuck in those feet under. I'm just going to adjust my camera. You guys can stay there. There we go. Lovely. So I'm just pushing the feet back just to give them a little stretch. And then I'm going to let them release. So we can do a little catch child pose, just rest forwards. And again, think about what I was saying earlier. Even though this is a great position for most of us and it's a lovely lower back stretch, if you have got back issues, sometimes, bearing in mind that our back is usually arched, you bent it really far the other way. So sometimes it can feel like a nice release, but it might not always be overly good for your back. So if you do have any back issues, just be gentle, maybe have the bottom a bit lifted so that you're not doing such a great long stretch down there. And again, this is really only to avoid that if you've got a back injury. For most of us, this is fine, but if you've got an injury, sciatica, really stretching here could aggravate it in the long run. Okay, coming up to all fours. So, cat stretch, cat cow, if you want to call it that. So this I just want to really focus on today. So if you see my posture, so it's kind of doing what we call a tilt in the pelvic area. So you can see if I'm here, this is natural, and then I'm going to tilt my hips. You see how much they've tilted under? That's what the cat stretch is. It isn't about lifting your arms up here. So we want to do an anterior tilt one way and anterior tilt the other way. And on the way back, you're really pulling your abdominals in. So just without worrying about the head, just think of tilting your bottom upwards, tuck it under, pull your abs in and release. And then tuck it under. Really use those abdominals. Breathing in, breathing out. Your head should naturally start to lift slightly and tuck under slightly. But it's all going on in this lower back. This is what we want this to do. Just your upper body, have your hands nice and strong, pull them apart slightly, push your heels of your hands into your floor so you've got nice strong shoulders. And just a couple more here. Breathe out. This is really working the abs, and this is brilliant for the back. Because again, we're getting some really nice articulation in the spine, but it's controlled, working the muscles. Lovely, release. So another one to do a little bit for the shoulders. I'm just in neutral, so that means I'm neither tilted or arched. I'm just sort of naturally in the middle. Let your shoulders collapse, which is what, you never want to do a push-up in this position. But from your shoulders, then push up strong. Gently come down and collapse. Then push up strong. So you're working your shoulder muscles, but you're really feeling the difference between that's not how you want to work and then that's how you want to be. So that alone is really good posture. Your hands are strong, your fingers are pointing forward, and make sure the weight into your hands is even, so you're not rolling out onto the side where your little finger is, you're not rolling into your thumb. Let's do one more, drop down, lift up. And really feel that strong shoulder position. Let's sit back, lovely, stretch these wrists. So we're going to do our little balance one where we work what's called the multifidus, which is a sort of a muscle that goes up the spine, a technical way, but it stabilizes the spine. And it's on all fours, and we're going to lift just the whole knee an inch off the floor. It's very small. And we're going to take the opposite hand off. If you really struggle with that, just take a knee, because sometimes just lifting the knee and giving a slight tilt can ease sort of back pains, or if you've got any nerves sort of stuck. So, shoulders back, nice and strong, lift the knee. Can we lift the opposite arm? It's only an inch or two. Squeeze the tummy, look straight down. 3 more nice deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Squeeze that tummy. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Release. Let's have a sit back. Good. So doing that and holding that position and thinking of the arms and squeezing the tummy should be shaking. Let's switch sides. So I'm going to lift my other knee and foot off the floor, and this one. Looking straight down, lengthening the neck, and squeeze. Breathing in. Breathe out. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the pelvic floor. Breathe in. So make that breath longer, hold it. Release, well done. Give the wrist a rest. We're going to do it once more each side, twice in total. So you really got time to focus. Lovely workout for the back and shoulders. Told you it's going to be nice and easy. Shoulders back, nice and strong. Let's lift your leg and your opposite arm and hold. Again, don't lock this arm out, especially my elbows. They're hyperextensive. So I have to be really careful, because if you're hyperextensive in your joints, it means you're not very stable. One more breath. Release, let's switch. If you're hyperextensive, your joints aren't very stable, so therefore if you lock them out or work, then they're more likely to have injuries or buckle. And I get elbow problems with my elbows, so exactly for that reason. One more. Let's sit back, stretch these wrists. We are now going to lie down on our tummies, and again this is very gentle, and these next exercises, if you find that they're too uncomfortable on your back, you can always put a pillow, probably like a bed pillow, it's better than a cushion, under your tummy, or not really a towel but a cushion if you want, only if it's uncomfortable lying on your front. Otherwise, slowly, that's quite loud, isn't it? Alexa, volume down. I thought it was loud. So slowly coming down to your front. So this next, what we're going to do now is called prone push-up. So don't be scared of the word push-up. We're not lifting our body off the floor. This is again to stretch the back. So let's just start off with, are we comfortable in this position? And again, if this is uncomfortable, if you're feeling any pinching in the lower back, this is when having a pillow underneath can help, because it lifts your back up a little bit. So can we, your feet are just literally behind you on the floor, relax, relax. Can we lift the head? Are we comfortable here? And it's just the shoulders are slightly held, so again we're not collapsed, just hold through the shoulders a little bit. And then you could take your arms out in front. So it's just finding, is that comfortable on your lower back? Because your elbows are obviously lifting you up, which is creating a curve in the lower back, which we have naturally, but this is increasing it. And then you might bring your elbows in a bit further. Again, work at your level. If it's really uncomfortable, just stay really low and have a pillow. But if you can be here. So we're going to do a little push-up, but you don't lift the body. So we can start small. You could just lift your elbows slightly, an inch. How's that feel? And lower. Again, if this is feeling a lot, you can have your arms much further back, and then you might find you've got more control. You can push up a little bit or release. But if you're comfortable, again, it's just listen to your own bodies, but shoulders back, strong, lifting those elbows and lower. And I'm just going to do 10 of these and make them a bit bigger, so you can make your range further. Again, looking down, lift. Or you might want to adjust your arms, think actually that isn't really comfortable. I'm happier here. So your body stays on the floor. This is a push-up without your hips lifting. So it's called a prone push-up. Again, very good for your back. But it's got to have no pain in the back, no pain in the legs. Shoulders back, feeling your tummy stretch. Your back is getting a stretch. It may be uncomfortable, but that's very different to pinching and pain. It's just uncomfortable because it's not used to back bends, which is basically what we're doing. It's an extension of what we did in the warm-up. Let's do 2 more. One more. Can we hold it? Just a few breaths. And release. Lovely. Just to counteract this, let's just gently come up. And again, mindful of that lower back. If you've got any back issues, maybe just a bit of a stretch here. But if you are okay, you can stretch back. Just have a little stretch for these shoulders. So this one I'm going to have my bum in the air, so there's no real stretch going on here. Hand through, right diagonal by my leg. And I'm leaning into the shoulder, my head is relaxed. If you're comfortable here, you could start to think of opening up, lifting that arm up. Make sure your shoulder doesn't drop, reach up. If your neck is uncomfortable, just let your gaze come down and keep the arm up. So you're stretching your underneath shoulder, opening the chest here, so lots going on. Just gently release. We're going to switch sides, so threading this one through by the knee. Rest the head down, if that's comfortable. And then can we get this shoulder away, open it up and reach up. Lovely, and release. So let's do a little bit of stretching. I appreciate our legs aren't overly warm, but we shouldn't be too tight. It's not first thing in the morning. Let's take one foot forward. And I'm gently going to sink towards it. So it's this hip flexor we're stretching. This foot can shuffle forwards. Seeing how that knee feels, sometimes it's easy to lean, get your hand and then adjust rather than try and lean down, it might hurt your knee. Again, you might prefer to stay up here. Listen to your body, but pushing your hips down, and this is getting a lovely stretch in the hip flexor. And thinking of the upper body being held. Again, I want to add a little rotation onto this. Be very careful, very slow. So let's do a small rotation. So if I've got my right leg forward, it's the same hand as the leg. I'm just going to take it behind my back, just so that it pulls back a little bit. And then I'm going to lift up to here and just rotate. So not a full one on the floor, just a nice gentle one here. And again, any pain, just stick with being central. Lovely. Let's gently switch sides. The other leg, drive in. And then maybe reach down and then supporting yourself, let yourself slowly come down. Always knee right over the ankle, don't let it lunge towards the toes. Breathing into it. Again, you can always put a knee under a pillow under your knee, so you know your own workouts. If you have pillows or blankets around, just use them in any way to assist you that you can. Lovely. So I want to do a little stretch for the inner thighs. So in fact, let's sit here. So my feet together, pulling up nice and tall. And again, if you have back issues, sitting cross-legged is not a good option. So here, or just have the legs here. So it's always trying to keep your hips level as well. And this is just a little opening for them. And you can just, like a butterfly, just pulse the legs very slightly. And you're pulling up. Again, if you find this position hard to hold, if your back doesn't want to naturally be in an arch. If you see my back, it's in its natural position. Whereas if your back's here, that's not its natural position. So you're trying to fight against that. So if you lift your hips up, sometimes that can help. Take the legs further away, that's going to help as well. But like what I said earlier, thinking of your spine, it's curved. So that's how it kind of should be. We want to move it and mobilise it without hurting it. Arm down, let's reach one arm up and over. And then looking down. Let's change sides. Keeping your bottom on the floor, just reach up and over, nice stretch through the shoulder, stretch through the sort of side. Let those fingertips keep going, and look down. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to take the legs out. In fact, I want to keep them as they are. I'm going to take the hands here. So if you find this position really difficult, you can take the legs out straight. But bearing in mind what I said earlier about our spine, if you're in this position and your back's here, you're completely pulling it the other way to what it's naturally supposed to do. So you should be able to sit like this, and if you can't, sitting like this and reaching forward is just stretching that back more and more and more. So it's really important to kind of think about what your body's doing. So if you can't naturally do this, then maybe bend the knees a little bit or sit on a block or something. So it's just really thinking about your spine. I know it's very easy to sort of like chuck yourself over. If you've got no problems, it's fine, but just be aware of how that's bending your spine completely the other way. It's like standing up and bending over. You're still putting as much stress on those discs. Let's just think of the neck for a moment. Hands here, chin down, like you're doing a roll down. And it's like you're trying to just put your nose in your belly button, so you're stretching your neck. And up, and again, knees wherever you need them. Sitting up here, let's have a little rotate, upper body rotates. And centre, and rotate. And centre, and rotate. One more, other way. Lovely. We'll do a couple more stretches and then we'll take it down to the floor. So I want to stretch our inner thigh as well. So on, on the knees, I'm just going to take one leg out. Then I'm just going to take my bottom back, hands to the floor. And then you can take your leg as far as you want and you can push back as far as you want. It's just how this leg feels. We're getting a stretch here. So you might find up here is fine or down here. Whatever you feel like is getting a nice stretch. So we're getting some flexibility in the hips here as well. Breathing into it, finding that space. Let the breath get into it, relax. And gently let's bring ourselves up. Lift up, let's get that leg back. Let's get the other one out. Knee, leg out. And then just gently sort of push back a bit and then see where you can get to your legs, your knees. Everything's got to be okay with this. Again, nice long necks. Try not to let your head drop or let your chin lift. Nice and long. Breathe into it. A lovely way of really stretching out all this leg, opening out these hips as well. Lovely. Hands down, let's lift ourselves up. Bring those knees under. Let's bring ourselves gently down to the floor. Before we get to the floor, let's think of our feet. So if we've got our knees and feet together, lift the toes, open the heels, that's hip width apart. Keep them there, even though when we come down, we'll probably slide them in. That's wherever you want to be. Slide down slowly. Bring them in. Lovely. So let's think of our, and again, if there's any pain lying on the floor, pop a very small towel under your back or a pillow. You don't want too much under your back, it'll be too high lifted. But as a stretch, not in this class, but you can roll up a towel, that sort of size, and just put that under your lower back and just relax on it. Not anything like a roller that's hard, but just something where it just gives you that extra arch. It's all about sort of stretching out our backs today. Okay, so I'm going to do the soldier, which is basically hands down by your side, neck is long, so you can use your hands almost like a scoop underneath the back of your head. I find that helps get your chin in position. Again, a little mat or towel if you need to lift it up, if your chin's way up in the air, otherwise. Here, arms are down, shoulders away from the ears. Let your chest settle. We're in neutral spine, so we've got that lower gap in our back. Again, visualise that dressing gown cord I held up. It's not straight, it has an arch. It's the same when your spine's lying down. It goes down and then it arches. So we're going to, when we're on all fours and we did our, that cat-cow and we did the anterior pelvic tilt, we're just going to do one of those. So imagine you were on all fours and you tilted the hips anteriorly. So you've now flattened your back in the floor. We're going to hold that here. That really stretches out the back nicely and it engages the tummy, and it's just a nice one to hold. And just breathe here. So don't push on the feet or the hands. The body is still, the neck and shoulders are relaxed, but your tummy muscles are pulled in tight. Your back is flattened into the floor and it's stretched. So think of your pelvic floor muscles. Let's squeeze them to 100%. Squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them. You should shake. You can't talk. It's so squeezed. Like this. We'll do that again. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's tilt, flatten the back into the floor. And then just think, well, I'm not pushing on my feet, it's the tummy that's pushing down, so the legs are relaxed. You want this to be relaxed here. You don't want to be squeezing your bum and have tight legs. They're relaxed, it's the tummy that's pushing the back into the floor. So it's trying to isolate the movement. It's difficult, but squeeze that pelvic floor, zip it up. Imagine you're holding a wee, don't grip with your toes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. So now just gently, let's take the right arm up over the head and bring it back down. Then the left. So we don't want the body to move, so no lifting of the chest or the rib cage, the back isn't moving. So if your arm only gets to here, work with what you've got. That's exactly where your arm is supposed to be. Don't force it. Also with your arms going up, your chin wants to lift up. So back of the head heavy into the floor, chin is down. Make a note, how do your arms feel? Is one tighter than the other? Is there any pain in your shoulders, any tightness? Or does it feel nice? So I'm going to add some legs. Right arm goes up, just slide the left leg away. And then come back. So we're not even going to lift the legs today, it's going to be that gentle. Slide the right leg away, left arm. But really think about lengthening the movement. Stretch those fingers, stretch that arm, reach up, reach back this leg, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through the hips, stretch the hip flexor like someone's grabbed your leg and it's grown an inch, and come back. So all the while this is happening, the head hasn't moved, your chin's tucked in, your tummy is tight, your back isn't moving, no imprint in the spine or tilting the pelvis. Use the breath, breathe in, breathe out, come back, lovely. So just to mix it up a bit, I'm going to do same arm as leg. So right arm, right leg goes at the same time. Breathe in. Feel the stretch. Lengthen the whole right side of the body. Come back. Breathe in. Lengthen the left side of the body. Come back. So make your movement the length of your breath. And when you can't breathe anymore, you stop the movement, and then breathe out. Finish the movement when you finish the breath. Last time on the left. Wonderful. So again, going back to my point earlier, pulling in one knee at a time is fine because you're not changing particularly your spine shape, but you're feeling nice. So if you have any back issues, one leg at a time. Bring it in and roll it round. And let's switch. Because bear in mind how our spine curves. If you, gentle knees is all right. If you pull in and you do this, you can really be stretching your back. If you've got a lot of inflammation in your back and you've got a tiny little hole for these nerves to get through, you've got inflammation and you start stretching in such an intense way, you can squeeze those nerves and that's what can cause more pain and more inflammation. So general rule of thumb, one leg at a time, and even if you're doing ab exercises, just one leg at a time. But today, nice and gentle. Let's take our feet down to the floor. We're going to do a good old-fashioned 100. No leg lifts, just a good old-fashioned 100. The back is on the floor, we're in neutral. The hands are reaching forward. Peel the head and shoulders off. It's only small. If you need to, you can always come back and support. But we want to avoid the chin up here. So we're trying to lift the upper body up so we're here. We pump the arms really strong and we breathe in for 5, out for 5. Here we go. Squeeze the tongue. Breathe in and out. In. Halfway there. In. Squeeze the tummy on the way out. In. 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 Last time, in. Relax. Some of my breaths might have been 6 or 7 there, it's hard to count and talk. Let's just bring one knee in and just lengthen it, roll it round. And then bring that knee into the chest and lengthen the other one away. So again, we're not changing the spine shape here because the other leg is lengthened. Stretching these hip flexors, they spend so long in this position tight, we would need to stretch them. Neck is long, shoulders are relaxed. The leg that's pulled in, pull it across you slightly but without lifting the hips. There's no twist in the spine, no movement, you're just stretching that hip. Another thing to avoid is twisting, especially if you have back problems, which should be obvious, and that's usually how we always hurt ourselves, that twist and reach. So lying on the back, doing it gently is okay, but you wouldn't want to be swinging your legs around, doing really intense twists, or sitting up doing those sort of Russian twists. Again, these things are okay if you don't have any injuries. You just always got to be careful. Can't always feel the injury at the time. Bring the other knee in, roll it around. Hold on to it, lengthen the right leg, wonderful. Relax the neck and shoulders. The knee that's in, let's pull it across slightly. That's how gentle I am. My watch thinks I've finished my workout. It says, have you finished your Pilates? Normally it's going mad, but no, so I'm telling the truth today. It's gentle, gentle. Lovely, let's put the feet down one at a time. Back into neutral, so we're in our set-up position. Our feet are hip width apart. We have a gap under our back. We're going to go back to imprinting the spine, and then we're going to slowly lift, but we'll practice first. Let's take a few breaths to prepare. Breathe in through the nose. Don't cough. Breathe in. Breathe out. Draw your ribs. Imagine they're drawing down towards your hips and you're flattening your back into the floor. So again, that nice pelvic tilt. The back is flattened into the floor. Try and relax these legs. So you can feel your fronts of your legs. You can feel the difference between them being tight and not tight. So it's trying to use the abs, not the legs. When we lift, we are going to use the legs and bottom, but just while we're preparing, try and make it all about the abs. Neck is long, tucked in, release. Breathe in, breathe out, flatten. Now we're flat, let's lift, squeeze the bottom, lift, peel the spine off, and again, just go as high as you're comfortable with, making sure the big toe, the little toe, the ball of the foot, everything's engaged with the floor. Squeeze the bottom, you're not pushing with your ribs, you're squeezing with your bum, so our glutes are on fire, not the hamstrings under the back of the legs. And let's roll down, so press the back of the rib cage into the floor, and then those ribs come down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pelvic tilt in the air, so you can get a flat back down. That's the hard bit. And then back to neutral. It's really hard to see, you probably can't see it, but if I'm lifted, as I come down, so instead of just down, you come down and you try and pelvic tilt in the air, and then lower, so that you go down in a nice curve. That's what we're aiming for. Let's lift again. Breathe in, breathe out. Flatten, flatten, flatten. Squeeze and lift. Peel, peel, peel. Squeeze the bum. Also, imagine someone's grabbed your knees and they're pulling you that way. Squeeze the bottom. Lengthen the neck. Let it relax. Chin is tucked in. We can even have a little look side to side. It's all in this lower back. The glutes, the tummy. Roll down. Breathe in. Breathe out, ribs, 2, 3, 4, tilt the pelvis. It's that sort of feeling when we were doing our cat-cow that you pull your abs in so you can tuck your hips under. Let's do one more. Lift up. Whilst we're here, let's hold here. Squeeze the bottom. Can we just take the arms up? Just hold for 3 breaths. Every out breath, squeeze the pelvic floor, squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bum. One more out breath. Roll down. And arms come down. Wonderful. We're going to stretch our hamstrings. Having your band, strap, dressing gown cord. Let's lengthen that leg. So let the cord do the work. Have the leg lengthened. Open the back of the knee. And I'm using the band to just catch under my ball on my foot so I can flex it. Let the band take the stress. Your head and neck and shoulders are relaxed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ease in an inch. Breathe in. Release it a bit. Breathe out. Ease it in an inch. So you're just in your own kind of way. Breathing in, breathing out, just increasing that a little bit more. Release it, increase it, just however it feels. If you're really stretching that foot and that leg, it's not going to come in that far. The main thing is neutral. So if you're not sure, your hands should be under your back. If you flatten your back into the floor, look at that. Woo, easy. If I'm in neutral, there's no way that's happening. That's about as far as it's going. So this is fine. You haven't got to have your leg here. You've got to have it stretched. You've got to stretch that hamstring. If it's really intense, loosen off the flexing of the foot a bit. Have the band a bit nearer the heel and just focus on stretching the leg. That's a little bit less intense. But when you add that flex foot, breathe into it. So tailbone on the floor, the hips on the floor, but no back flattening the floor. Let's take that leg diagonally across slightly, again keeping your hip into the floor, just stretching our IT band. Still thinks I've finished, I might as well say I've finished now. Look at that. Lovely. Let's release. So I'm going to take this ankle onto my knee, forgot what it's called then. Again, really nice stretch for sciatica is just to pull these knees in. You could do this sitting on a chair if this is too much. You know, literally sat in a chair, cross-legged and lean forward. So I'm going to put the foot down, and again, very gently, this is talking about twisting, you just don't want to let your legs drop. You might even find it's too much and it's just knees together and a very, very gentle move to the side. Again, you've just got to see how your body feels. If you think you can continue with your stretch, you can let that legs go. And once you're where you're comfortable, you can look the other way. That underneath leg can be released. You work with what works for you. You're getting a stretch in the hips. You can always use this hand. Again, today is just about being aware of your body and your spine and what you're doing with it and how it's working. And it is difficult when I'm not there with you to readjust. So I'm just trying to really give some good tips so you look after yourself. But hopefully, with the news we've heard, it may not be too long till we're back in the studio, a couple of months hopefully. Let's release, let those legs lengthen and come back. I'm thinking I might do classes in the studio and film them as well, because I know a lot of you like being at home or sometimes can't always get to the studio. Let's do this other leg. So I'm probably going to film them and do both. Don't worry, if you're attending class you won't be filmed, I'll have the camera on me. Lengthen this other leg. Again, let's have the back in neutral, let the band do the stretching, breathing in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, can we ease it in an inch, breathe in, release, breathe out, ease it in, breathe in, release. Breathe out, ease it in, finding somewhere you're comfortable with. Again, neutral spine, hand underneath if you're not sure. You don't want a flat back. And ease off on the flexing if you need to. Just work at your level. Wherever you're supposed to be is where you're supposed to be. No pain. Just feel gentle stretching. Relax your upper body and your neck. Breathing into it. Let's take the leg across. Then gently we're going to cross the ankle over the knee, pick those legs up. give yourself a nice stretch. Feeling in this outside hip, in this glute. Again, another muscle gets underused. We often don't fire up the glutes a lot, so the hamstrings take all of the weight, especially when you're running and walking. So it's really good to have exercises that we do to fire them up, get them working, get them stretched. Tight glutes mean tight hips, and that can affect your lower back as well. All sorts. I've had so many injuries, not injuries, but glute minimus or maximus, having tightness in them can be quite painful. Lovely, let's put that foot down, hands down again, very, very, very gently. Start to slowly stretch and see how that feels with your body. Again, think of your spine, it's made of lots and lots of segments. And if you're twisting it, it's got a lot of nerve endings all around it, and they all have to kind of fit through little holes and go into all the muscles, so you never want to do anything too quickly, which is exactly why when you do those jerky movements, grabbing something, reaching behind in the car to get something off the back seat, it's exactly when you put your back out. So gentle, gentle, and hopefully these exercises hope to build those muscles, so you have a bit more muscle memory, so when you do reach, your body knows what's going on. Wonderful. Okay, gently, gently lengthen. We're going to go into a nice little bit of cool down, a little bit of meditation. So finding a comfortable position for you, whatever works, on your front, on your side. You might want to put a pillow under your feet or the back of your knees, or have your feet here. Just lying down. Oh, the music has stopped. Let's find a bit more of a... Lovely. Okay, so just keeping the eyes open for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. A nice deep breath in, out through the mouth. One more breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and close the eyes. And then just let your breathing be through your nose, if that feels natural to you, and just a regular rhythm, your own body. And just be mindful of your breathing, so you can feel your tummy lifting and rising, rising and falling, your chest lifting and falling, and just having a little body scan. Let's start from the top of the head, running down the face. How's it feeling? Is it relaxed? Is there any tension? Down the neck and shoulders, how do they feel? How do they feel on the floor? The back of the ribs, the tummy, the hips. Are you comfortable? Are you relaxed? Is there any tension? Could you just shift, make yourself more comfortable, down the legs, down those knees, down the calves, into the ankles and feet, and just making a note of any tension, and just reshuffling and finding a comfortable position. And today we're going to think about kindness, but kindness to ourselves, taking some time out for ourselves, what we're doing now, a bit of maintenance for the body, for the soul. Be kind to yourself, take time out, make sure you do something for yourself every day, even if it's only small. And then just thinking of a tiny pinprick of light inside your chest, and that is beaming through with this lovely warm light that is really giving you a hug. It's giving you fulfillment, well-being, and making you feel nice and warm. And being kind to yourself. That light is expanding through the tiny pinprick, through your body, up into your chest and your face. The pinprick of light has now become a big hole, and it's filling your entire body with well-being, kindness and happiness. That light is filling every tiny part of your body, right down into your feet, to the top of your head. And And now it's bursting through your body, tiny little pinpricks all over your body. That light is bursting out, bursting through into the room around you, shining out. Pinpricks of light have just all merged into one, and you're just one big beam of light. That light's travelling through your house and outside and into your street, into your village, into the town. You can let that light shine wherever you want to. It can go up into the sky, it could go out into the world, into the oceans. Just sense that kindness, that light is travelling everywhere. And just let your mind wander to wherever it wants to take that light. And then just find a stillness and a calmness in your mind. Just take this one moment to be kind to yourself. Start to sense your breath coming back to your body. So you're just aware of your tummy now moving up and down, the breath coming into your chest, giving you energy, giving you life. Your chest moving. Let's just take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do that body scan again. And just from head to toe, how are we feeling now? Are we still comfortable? Is there any tension? Do we feel different? Do we feel better? Feel the same? Just a little body scan so you're aware of yourself. Let's wiggle those fingers, wiggle the toes, circle the wrists and the ankles. Let's have a little full body stretch. Stretching the arms, stretching the legs. And then let's slowly place the feet on the floor and bring one knee into the chest. And then the other knee, and roll over onto your right hand side, coming into a very gentle child pose or just a crouching sort of position, just mindful of your back. Let's tuck those feet under, giving those toes a little stretch. Hands here, just stretching those feet. And then let's gently come to a comfortable position. So remember, backs don't always like cross legs, so you can have whatever works for you. I'm just going to be kneeling for a moment. Breathe in, reach. Again, kneeling might not be good for you either, so whatever is comfortable. One more. And again, let's give ourselves a hug and a pat on the back. Thank you so much. I hope that was nice and relaxing and maintenance for the body. I told you I was going to be nice and easy today.